want to start with something that you said that I think everybody should pay attention to from a business standpoint. Delivery is great, but it won't take you to the promised land. A lot of restaurants are hoping to get there through delivery. Yeah. Why won't it? Why is indoor dining important?
Well, I think delivery is an important piece to the puzzle. And I think if you look at the business structure overall of a restaurant, what you're going to need now moving forward with everything being what it is multiple revenue streams. So indoor dining being a piece, obviously, if you have a 100-seat restaurant, you're only going to be able to serve 30, 35, 40 people when indoor dining is finally open. And then if you take into consideration delivery and takeout, and other revenue streams that you can create inside a restaurant, I think the key moving forward is going to have to be to chip away at your costs and expenses. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is you're going to see menus start to suffer on a creative side, because the cost of creativity is one of those things that restaurants always, they move that forward because it keeps their client base interested.
Yeah, I know. I find the better the restaurant is, the bigger the gap in the experience between delivery and actually eating in. I want to talk to you about New York. I'm worried about New York. I live in New Jersey, but spend normally a good amount of time there. I know you used to live in New York, but you moved to Arizona, and the mayor's policies, de Blasio's policies, even before now, were a part of that. Tell me what you see happening to New York with the reluctance to open up indoor dining, and what the impact on New York's reputation as a destination is going to be.
Listen, I was 27 years in New York City. I started as a young cook in 1990, and I worked all the way up through the years. And I'm proud of the experience that I had in New York, and most importantly, I'm proud that New York City has always been the epicenter of dining in this country. And think about what that is and where it's fallen to, particularly under the leadership of de Blasio. I feel like some of the decisions he's made have not been pro-business. One of the reasons I moved here to Arizona is because it is very pro-business here. I miss New York. I miss the great food. I miss the diversity of cuisines. But I think what we're seeing in New York very now rapidly is between the taxes, between how much the cost of living there, and now people dining on the streets, and with the homeless issue that de Blasio refuses to acknowledge. It's a real problem. I am not a politician. I'm a business owner, right? So this comes strictly from the frustration of the amount of employees that I've had over the years, and to see them struggling also, as well as the businesses that employ them, as well as the peripheral businesses that are being affected in a huge way throughout the state, not just in New York City.
Hey, Scott, it's Deirdre. So what do you think the New York City dining scene looks like a year or 2 years from now? Does it come back in full? Have you heard from other business owners a similar sentiment?
Well, I think you could never underscore or over-exaggerate the resilience of New Yorkers. I mean, that's the most promising aspect of it all to me. They have always found a way, New Yorkers, and I'm looking forward to see the adjustments that could be made moving forward. There's great leadership from people like Danny Meyer and Drew Nieporn, who are vocal, great PR people like Philip Baltz and Becca Parrish, who have done a great job of getting the word out there and really kind of trying to focus the efforts in making things better for New York City. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the level of goodness that's coming from the political leadership. I mean, ultimately, restaurants need help. They are in a terrible situation, and I am not one to spread fear. That's not the intention, but I think we do need to live in a reality here.